Hello to Norway, hello to Lamarck. My name is Bo Barrett. I'm at Chateau Montelena Winery in Calistoga, Napa Valley, California. We'd like to thank you for bringing in our wines. We're very excited to be up in the Northland up with y'all, and thought we'd give you a very brief video today about the wines that you've already brought in. Montelena is an interesting American winery. As you know, in California, we can grow different grapes in different areas. We don't have the same restrictions that they have in France. So in Napa Valley, we have Chardonnay all the way to Zinfandel. So we have a wide band of grapes to work with in California. Here at Montelena, we really specialize in Chardonnay and Cabernet. That's our two primary wines, but some of our land is actually better for other things like Zinfandel. So we have a fairly compact line of wines. Really, there's 5 products in general, and I'm just going to give you a very brief overview of what these are today. So our Chardonnay, this is the bottle that is the famous bottle. It's in one of the only 2 bottles in the Smithsonian Institution. It's the Napa Valley Chardonnay that won the Paris tasting in 1976. Our Chardonnay is from the southern Napa Valley, and one of the compliments I got about it is like Chablis on a supercharger, meaning we have all the purity and brightness of flavors and minerality, but also we have the California sunlight, which gives us a lot of tremendous Chardonnay flavors, ripe fruit. We pick in the first week of September, so it's an extremely reliable growing region in California. We don't really have a lot of rain in the harvest time, so we have very little problem with rot or mildew or anything like that. So our Chardonnay is very reliable, but our styling is, because we're in California and we make, basically what we do at Montelena is we make California wines in the European tradition. So when I say styling is more European, so our Chardonnay and our Cabernet are truly modeled on the wines that we thought in 1970s were the great wines of France, and so we've actually stuck with that. So our unique spot in American winemaking is we really don't make New World wines except for one, which we'll get to. So anyway, the Chardonnay is super pure. We don't have to do a malolactic here, so there's no malolactic. No batonnage. The barrel ferments only lasts 1 or 2%. We only use fine lees, and so it's a really pure flavor. And also, the one unique thing about Montelena is our Chardonnay, because it is so primary and strong in fruit when it's first bottled, like the 17 is going to be really green apple and very bright fruit. And then we have a program here where we age it for our Americans. Americans don't really age wine like you would see in Europe so much. So basically we age the wines for them. So our program is here. We have a 5-year re-release of Chardonnay that we've aged for our customers. And so that you have that wine too. That's our 2012. That now will have a lot of that primary fruit will have dropped off, and it's going to be much more richer and more like a Burgundian richness, and we say in Spanish suelto, a softer finish than the super bright crisp finish on the 2017. Our Chardonnay, I don't believe I said it, but it's grown in the southern Napa Valley closer to the bay, where it's cooler during the day but warmer at night. We moved to Calistoga. Napa Valley is really 2 types of Cabernet growing regimes. We have the mountain appellations and the valley floor appellations. So you've probably heard of Oakville or Rutherford, Yountville, the valley floor of St. Helena. Then we have our mountains, Mount Veeder, Howell Mountain. And the unique thing about Calistoga is it's so high that it's like 400 feet at Montelena, which is not really high, but 100, 120 meters, which is higher than the rest of Napa Valley. So basically, Montelena farms like an extension of the mountains. It's hot during the day, but also quite cold at night. We have a lot more frost protection. So we have 100 acres here, and the unique thing about Montelena is we pick Cabernet off our volcanic rock starting at the end of August, even early September, and then we go all the way until the middle of October. So on one 100-acre vineyard, 35 hectare, we actually pick Cabernet for 6 weeks. So that allows us to get a very consistent wine throughout the year. So in a hot year, we'll use some of the valley floor later stuff to get riper fruit, as opposed to the mountain fruit, which is really, really strong. So the estate Cabernet, this is our flagship. It's grown here. I'm in the winery right now. As you can see, we're set up for a tasting here. But so our estate Cabernet is from this property right here. We got our name Montelena. We're at the foot of Mount St. Helena. So at this 100-acre vineyard, we have all of the 3 main soil types of Napa. We have volcanic, we have the sedimentary because we're on the alluvial fan of the Napa River, and then we have some sedimentary, more what you'd find in the Oakville appellation. So this 100-acre spot is really a unique spot. So it makes an amazing wine. So right now our current release is the 17, which you've brought in, and like the Chardonnay, we do age that for our customers too. So we have the 10-year-old Cabernet, because that's really Napa Valley, especially our cab at 10 years old, a lot of that primary driving California fruit has gone away, and then our minerality from the volcanic and the alluvial soils really shows up a lot better. It is not a high alcohol, big Napa Valley bruiser. We typically use about 20 to 40% new oak. Depends on the power of the year, but it's not one of those super oaky, super rich Napa Valleys. It's really in a classical styling. So our Napa Valley Cabernet is basically our Calistoga. It's our AVA wine. For appellations here, we call them American Viticultural Areas, or AVA, and our AVA is Calistoga. It's the very north end of Napa Valley. It grows as an extension of the mountains. It's a very hot during the day and cold at night. Very strong Cabernet. Has a little bit of, it's really right in a sweet spot between the mountain AVA, mountain strong, bright, intense flavors, and then the valley floor, a lot of lushness and softness. So it's really in a very nice spot where it has all the power you'd expect from our AVA from Calistoga, but also has a lot of softness that allows for earlier consumption. And it's designed for restaurants. We make no bones about it. This one's only about 20% new wood. We grow most of the grapes for this. We actually have one vineyard that we've been buying the grapes since 1992, our neighbors across the road. But basically we control all the vineyards on this too. And this is the only one that we have Merlot in, so this is, oddly, it's a more classic Bordeaux blend, but it's really also a classic Napa blend, where it's planted at 10% Merlot, and that's pretty much about what it is. The Cab Franc component in here, that varies more, between 2 to 3% in general. Again, that's just to add a little bit of extra lift to the aroma primarily. So because, again, we're going to be drinking this wine fairly young, so we want a lot of reward as soon as it's poured in the glass, and that's what the Cab Franc and the Petit Verdot that would be in here drive that. The Zinfandel, when we got here in 1972, Cabernet and Chardonnay were not the kings of Napa Valley, so we kept the Zins. Zins are kind of a go-to wine. All of us that grew up in California, we love Zinfandel. Californians drink Zinfandel a lot. Zinfandel is like an all-around wine. It's good all the time. It's basically, we use a smaller clone selection. It's also known as Primitivo. So the blend on this one is basically, we designed this one to be more of our Rhone style wine, where it's a big billowy bowl of fruit on the aroma, and then it finishes like big expansive flavor, but then it kind of goes away like a berry mousse, and it's really it's a table wine. It is not your typical Napa Valley or North Coast Zinfandel, which can often be in the 16.5, high alcohol. That's not what we do. We make table wines Zinfandel. It's really, it's a delightful wine, and I think you'll all really like it up in Norway. So that's it from Chateau Montelena. We would love to do more videos. We're, of course, like everybody else, doing Zoom calls. We have our PowerPoints on Zoom. We have a lot of stuff available for you. All you have to do is ask, and we'll be happy to give you the full lowdown. Reach out to us anytime, and we'd like nothing more than say, I'm so excited. I'm disappointed I didn't get to come up this summer, but hopefully on our Euro tour, which got postponed for a year, obviously with the COVID, I'm really looking forward to coming up there. Maybe I'll come in the winter and go see the Northern Lights. Anyway, thank you for bringing in the wines, and if you have any more questions, do not hesitate at all to reach back out to us. We're here, we're happy, we want to help. Thank you.